you look at the other scores, the Orioles way behind, so they may have hit a little wall for themselves after making a great run, a prideful run. The Indians have won it 5-3, huh?
Jimmy Raines with a batting helmet on, going down and asking O'Neill, what are you keeping tonight?
Yeah, Homer, what? Let me get out of here.
That's a good rookie for you right there. That's a good rookie for you. Okay, big boss, I'll move on down here for you. What a good-looking young player that Homer Bush is.
To Bernie with 2 outs. Skies it, and Devin looks for it, but that'll be out of play. We saw those scores before. The Padres leading 2-0 in the bottom of the 9th. So they had Kevin Brown win at Philly yesterday, and Joey Hamilton, I think, tonight. Well, those 3 division leaders in the National League are neck to neck to neck. Are they not, Ray? That's
I have
some interesting opening round action. You know, whichever 2 division leaders go head to head, it's a tough one to call.
I've not seen 3 National League clubs that evenly matched in a long, long time. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Well, Fetters bounces back with a couple of strikeouts, but that was an intriguing inning. Kermit along with Ray Knight, and our pitching summary brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paint and Wallpaper Stores. Steve Sparks gave up a 5-run fifth, including a 3-run homer to Homer Bush. He had it really working for a while till the Yankees finally timed him out and went the opposite way. He stands to lose it tonight. And David Wells, well, now working inning number 8, looks up, is marked as 17-2.
Yeah, and David averaging over 7.5 innings per start, so he's right where he normally is, so this is not 3.125 earned run average. He's just giving you his typical David Wells game.
Is he a smarter pitcher now? I mean, you said, geez, he tried the fastball again to Edmonds, but I mean, I know he gets a lot of runs, Ray, but as we work with Erstad, Salmon, and Green, 3, 4, 5, is he, even when you had him a few years ago?
He was a good pitcher then. I mean, he came over and really solidified our staff as we won the division in 95.
Over the head of Chad Curtis, who kind of broke sideways on it, runs all the way to the wall, and Erstad can really fly, but down by 3 runs, he'll settle for the leadoff double rather than try for the triple. Angels are back in business. Let's go to Bill Pito.
Chris, check out Lou Piniella. He's been tossed here already in the 9th inning against the Indians. Kicks the hat once, comes up to the hat, lines it up, kicks the hat again. They love it in the Mariners dugout. Griffey loves it. 3rd try at the hat. Best kick of all. Indians win it 5-3.
Well, I think those kicks sum up the entire season for the Mariners. And I will say this, as we look at Mariano Rivera warming up in the pen. Lou, those were soccer-style kicks. I envisioned Lou as more of a straight-on kicker, didn't you? I mean, I didn't realize that
Lou Grozo type.
Mel Stottlemyre is going to walk out to the mound and talk with Wells. Yeah, especially in Cleveland, you got to go straight on. Lou the Toe Piniella. Yeah, Ray, you never booted anything, did you?
I didn't kick my hat. I threw a couple bases.
Well, I know it's you stole bases like Brochu stole home. You picked them up and fired them.
Yeah, but when you get to be losing my age, you pay for it the next day. David Wells wiping. I guess he just called Stottlemyre out there to get a dry jersey so he could wipe his hands on it.
Right.
Certainly not anything. Just asking him how he feels.
Mariano Rivera, who's as good a closer as there is. The Angels have one in certainly Troy Percival. Closed down this first game here this afternoon, won by the Angels 6-4, but it's been 4 games since Torre and Stottlemyre can say, okay, we got a lead, let's get Rivera up to deal with the 9th inning. Long time for these guys. I'm talking to Don Zimmer before the game. He said, I told these guys a few weeks ago, enjoy all this. I mean, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. I'd go home some nights, and Zim said, how did we win today? He says, I saw it. I sat on the bench for 9 innings, but how did we do it today? Zim says, you know, it's like everyone in the stands here and the writers are. Zim came into the building today and said, what's wrong with this team? Right? Like you said, it's if he was asked, well, you guys all right? Well, he did immediately after asking, what do you like in football this year? I always see Zim late August, and we always, just like I go to him for the Kentucky Derby, he comes to me before football season. I give him a few players and dark horse teams to look out for. He likes taking those long shots in the pool. The teams making playoffs. Wells working the Salmon, 1-0.
Zim celebrating his 50th year in the game. Started as a player in 1949.
Baseball right there. Talk to him for hours. Salmon, very patient, lays off, 2-0. Wells and the Yankees, that's what Stoudemire went out there for. You know, it's a 3-run lead. Crowd is awfully quiet. Well, the Yankees have come back on them in these 3 games that they've won, and it's the heart of their order, so they need to be real careful. Up the middle by Salmon. Erstad can run, and he will be waved home easily. And it's 6-4. Now that play by Fetters really stands out.
Yeah, it does. It always seems to. You start giving up runs late in the game, especially relievers out of the bullpen, it's always going to hurt you. But Wells now.
Well, here's Joe Torre, which means that'll be it. And since he hasn't worked for a while, looks like Mariano Rivera, like the old days, it looks like they're going to bring in the closer for 2 innings, right?
Well, you have to do that when you haven't thrown.
Fans on their feet for one of their heroes, David Wells. All right, Billy, thank you. The Red Sox doing it at Fenway, and now I aired. Rivera worked yesterday, but hasn't been many close-down situations for him the last few games, and so, like the old days, the stopper comes in the 8th inning, Ray. You don't see it that much anymore.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of work. You mentioned there are 4 games that they've lost, and he is not going to be in those games that you're trailing, and he has not thrown to 50 innings this year. That's not a big workload for a closer this time of the year. You see his great stuff, under a 2 earned run average, fastball 95 miles an hour, tight slider, and just another great young arm along with Nin and Hoffman over in the National League.
Todd Green, 0 for 3 against Wells. Youngster of whom much is expected, but was hurt, missed most of this season. Will be your catcher here one day. But really can only play a little left. Occasionally DH, although in Salmon's situation, that's what he's playing, so no room there, which is part of the reason why Cecil Fielder is no longer a member of the Angels. Third, when Salmon had the DH and Erstad, with his hamstring problems, had to play first as opposed to anywhere in the outfield, that made Cecil's days numbered here. 1-1 pitch to Green. He swings through that one. 1-2. Salmon at first base, having driven in Erstad with the 4th Angel run. They trail at 6-4. Dangerous Garrett Anderson is on deck. Foul back.
Since last Tuesday when he blew a save in Milwaukee, Rivera only 2.2 innings in a week. 1 inning yesterday, 1.2 innings Saturday in Texas in his last save. So that shows you right there, in a situation where if you're winning, he'd have probably had 4 plus 5 innings of work maybe.
Skied. Does Posada have room? No. The Angels and the Rangers, if you're trying to figure out who will come out of the West as the champs, the Angels right now have a 5-game road trip here to New York, 3 at Boston, 2 at Cleveland. Hence, of their 17 remaining road games, you know, a lot of the games, they have a tougher schedule as far as the strength of their opponents.
Well, they do. And you look there at the plus 500 club, 14 teams that they have to play, and you mentioned the Red Sox and Cleveland.
However, they've come into New York, Ray, and they've won the first 3 games of this set. They do play each other 5 times over the last couple of weeks. 2 of those games are in Texas. 1 is a Wednesday night, so I assume we will see one of them, you and I. And then there's 3 games in Anaheim on the final Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the season, and probably that'll be our late game that week. Right now, the 4-game lead is because they won the first game. Well, this is driven pretty well to right center field. Back a long way goes Bernie Williams. Back. It's off the wall. Salmon had to hold, and he'll just get to third base and gimp in. But Todd Green just pummeled that pitch from Rivera, and now the potential tying runs are in scoring position. Reggie Williams, who homered this afternoon, will be the pinch runner for Green, who just drilled it.
Yeah, fastball up, out over the plate. Barely stays in the ballpark, hitting the bottom of the wall. Salmon with the bad ankle, nobody out. Goes to second base, which he's supposed to do. Ends up second, third, no one out. Tying run on second base.
So 3 straight hits here by the Never Say Die Angels have plated 1 run. We've got runners at scoring position, and a little single by Garrett Anderson will tie the game at 6. Chopper up the middle. Nice play by Jeter to Tino Martinez. Salmon scores. It's a 6-5 game. That almost got through, and Williams certainly would have scored.
Derek Jeter, great range. Watch the first step quickness here. Ground ball up the middle. First step quickness allows him to get to the ball, rights himself, gets his feet underneath him, makes a good throw.
Joe says, yeah, I mean, his middle relief with Nelson out maybe for the rest of the year, and Darren Holmes sideline. Stanton struggling, although he pitched a good close-up for this afternoon. Now he's got his best reliever, Rivera, and he says, why do I have to see this now? The infield is in. The run, by the way, charged to David Wells. That'll close his book with 5. And Troy Glaus just looking for a fly ball. Just looking for a fly ball, but Rivera is quickly ahead, 0-2. So here's an example of the youngster. You know, veteran maybe can measure the pitch a little more just to hit a fly ball.
Well, infielders, shortstop and second baseman on the grass.
Big strikeout for Rivera. He just went right after the youngster and overmatched him on that at bat.
And it's very tough for a young player in that situation. A tough deal for Troy Glaus to break in. Just a fastball, 93, 94 mile an hour, right down the middle of the plate. Glaus just swinging too big. And that's something that he'll learn, even though he choked up a little bit on the bat. Try to make a little bit of contact, but Rivera is sneaky fast. He throws 93. There are people that throw 96, 97, but he hides the ball so well, it looks like it's about 99.
Well, Terry Collins will go the left-handed pinch hitter, the young outfielder Orlando Palmeiro, to bat for the catcher Phil Nevin, which means Walback will go in to catch in the 9th inning, or rather the bottom of the 8th inning. Palmeiro has done an excellent job in spot roll, and then turn into more than spot roll with all the injuries they've had here.
Well, he seems to see the ball very well. He gets good balls to hit. Line drive type hitter, a lot like Greg Gross was. Joe Orsulak, guy that doesn't swing too big. Brett Butler.
Ooh, they gave him green light on 2-0. He was behind it. I thought he might just sit and wait.
Doesn't surprise me, simply because of time runs on third base. You can't get in a better hitting situation. Terry Collins trusts this young player's ability. He's proven that he gets a good ball to hit.
Now Rivera comes back and evens the count at 2-2. Fans were pretty quiet a couple of batters ago. That has changed. to center field, but Bernie Williams draws a beat on it. And the potential tying run is stranded at third. The Angels 1 of 11. The runners in scoring position. But they do pick up a big 2. And we've got ourselves a 1-run game. All right, Billy, thank you. A 6-5 game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees lead the Angels by just 1. Reggie Williams, pitch ran, stays in the game, and goes into left field for Todd Green, and Matt Walbeck is the new catcher after Nevin was pinch hit for by Orlando Palmeiro. So now you're up to speed. Tito Martinez, Chili Davis, and Chad Curtis will be your batters here in the bottom of the 8th. I don't want to waste an unbelievable amount of research by our ace researcher Dave Pinto back at home. The chopper by Tino. And it's handled by Darren Erstad. Homer Bush's homer was his first of his career. I worry about Dave when he spends time looking up things like this, Ray. We love Dave, of course. There are 10 players in the history of Major League Baseball who have the name Homer. 4 of them hit homers in their career, so some of them were pitchers, obviously. Homer Suma, S-U-M-A, not Kama Sutra, but Homer Suma is the all-time leader of the homer players with 18, which means Homer Bush is just 17 behind. Now, I didn't commission this bit of research, but he went to the problem to call it into us. We feel our obligation to give it to you as a home.
And I
Back
think,
to the game.
yes.
Thanks, Dave. Tim Raines batting for Chili Davis. Ground ball to Norberto Martin over to Erstad, and quickly 2 up, 2 down. A much less eventful inning thus far for Mike Fetters. Again, a reminder that chasing history, the quest towards Roger Maris's record. Big Mac, Sammy, Junior, Greg Vaughn. A 5-part series begins on SportsCenter this Monday night in the 6:30 edition. So you want to see that? Chad Curtis winning the game defensively for Strawberry a couple of innings ago. His first at bat. Way outside and past catcher Matt Walbeck. Ball 1. A week ago at this time, Ray, I didn't think McGuire and Sosa would get it done. Do you think they will now? You don't have to commit.
No, one of them will. I don't know that both of them will, but I think if you look at their record, I don't think McGuire has ever gone 30 games without hitting 10 home runs.
Probably not. Not in recent times.
No. And I was looking at that thing today in the newspaper of the people that have hit 50 home runs, and there were 12 of them, and each of them hit at least 9 in the month of September. So far, McGuire, Sammy hit it 1 today. And that was a list of everyone that had hit over 50 home runs, including Greenberg and George Foster, and 9 was the smallest total.
9 was the smallest?
And Babe hit 17.
Yeah, he did. He hit 60. That'll be great down the stretch. Just got under it a little bit. Did Chad Curtis. Reggie Williams squeezes it. 3 up, 3 down. And the second man up here in the 9th inning is the man that's gone deep twice already, Jim Edmonds. Well, we had foot action for sure on the play by now which the Yankees lead. It happened when Mike Fetters came in the game in the 7th inning. Scott Brocious was on third base. And on the the fake, and then, oh my goodness, there's a guy over here running to second base. The throw was, I'm not sure what it was. By the way, they've just changed it. The bad news for Scott Brocious is he doesn't get a steal at home. The good news is the run stands. It's an E1, error to Fetters. And the run before that the Yankees got was on a passed ball that O'Neill slid around the Sparks. So as Malibu Marty Aronoff points out here, with this our senior leading off the 9th, battery errors. The reason the Yankees scored their last 2 runs, and that would never happen with the Energizer Bunny, a battery error, would it? Angels have come from behind to win the first 3 games of this 5-game series. Can they do it again here in the 9th?
Look at this
he
guy.
doesn't think so. Ooh, just missed it, Rivera. The count is 1-2 to Disarcina. Disarcina, Edmonds, and Norberto Martin with Erstad due up fourth. He's gone deep twice, says Jim Edmonds. He's on deck. So don't go away.
And you mentioned Disarcina hitting 9th, and a lot of people wonder why Edmonds hits first. He hit 3rd most of the year with Erstad out. But in essence, he's really a 3-hole hitter with Disarcina hitting 9th. Or at least a 2-hole hitter. Going to have the opportunity of driving a lot of runs, as he has. Probably end up with 85 RBIs this season. Then you can put a guy with some pop in that leadoff hole when you have a man that can get on the base, or you consistently in a 9-hole.
Now he's getting closer and closer to the foul pole. Let's go quickly to Billy Pito.
Mark McGwire draws closer. 0 for 3 coming up in the 8th inning against Justin Spire with a man on, and there it goes. Way back in center. 2-run shot, number 54 on the year for Big Mac. 3-0 Cards in the bottom of the 8th.
That's why I asked you when I did, Ray.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I said sure he is.
Disarcina, fly ball to right field, squeezed by Paul O'Neill. There's 1 out. Big Mac with Pitway. Anything you can do, I can do better. So sitting in the afternoon, McGwire at night. 52 and 54. I think that game, as Jim Edmonds comes up with 2 homers tonight, can he hit number 3? I think that game they played against each other a week ago tonight, during the afternoon on a Wednesday, that was the one that kind of energized McGwire. I mean, he saw Sosa having so much fun. He relaxed, and here we go. He's been off to the races ever since. But now back to the matter at hand. Jim Edmonds trying to time out Mariano Rivera the way he timed out David Wells. 7 for 12 in the series is Edmonds.
Well, he's a big-time money player. A lot of offers to trade Edmonds the last 2 years. Been some talk about moving Erstad to center field, but you don't want to move this guy. He's such a quality player. Offensively, defensively, I think he's probably been on more ESPN highlights than anybody defensively in the outfield. We saw him almost running through the wall last week.
Swings through that one. While we're talking McGwire just a minute, before anybody forgets, the National League record for home runs is 56 by Hank Wilson.
Oh, that's
the second best ever in the National League was 54 by Kleiner, so he's already number 2 in National League history, so keep that in mind as well. Joe Torre not concerned with that right now, neither is Terry Collins. Fans want a K. Fouled off the paraphernalia.
Jim Edmonds, a very classic hitter, positions himself very well in the batter's box, but with 2 strikes, he hardly strides. Sometimes he doesn't even stride. He widens out his stance, as you see there, and then as the ball approaches, he just puts his foot right back down.
Foul tip into the glove of Posada, and Edmonds is gone on some high cheese.
Yeah, that's some serious gas, and you got to sit up really early to be able to get to this fastball, up and away, and there's a little difference between 4 or 5 miles an hour on the fastball. 94 mile an hour fastball as opposed to David Wells' 89. Edmonds went deep twice, and that shows you what certain pitchers can do. Rivera saw Edmonds hit those 2 home runs up, but it didn't scare him because he knows he has enough juice to get by with it.
Outside to Norberto Martin. That's going to squeeze everything in here in the 9th inning. McGwire going deep. I just want to say I agree with our compatriot Joe Morgan. He talked about it on Sunday night. The quote issue of whatever over-the-counter legal additive that Mark McGwire is taking. It's a non-issue in my mind. I agree with what Joe said. Hopper up the middle. Base hit. The tying run is on. The fleet-footed Norberto Martin has come through with his third base hit of the night. '54, '52, and '44. We're in August still, folks.
Well, that's a lot of bombs. And Mark McGwire said that he wouldn't get excited till he hit 50.
He's excited now. He's
now
excited.
He has to be a little
America.
excited.
Tying runners at first. Darren Erstad doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 4. The Yankees have lost 4 in a row, but are 1 out away from ending their longest losing streak of the season. The Angels have taken 6 out of 9 games from the Yankees this year, including the first 3 of this 5-game set. Game 5 of which is tomorrow night.
Well, very deep. Paul O'Neill out there with a runner on first base, 2 outs. Not going to allow the ball to get over his head and allow that run to score.
Foul back by Erstad. 0-2, 1 strike away. If Rivera does it, he'll get saved 34, and David Wells would move to 17-2.
And a fretting Mike Fettis.
A fretting Fettis. Very good, Ray. You don't mean Freddie Fender.
No.
A fretting Fettis. The All-Star, Erstad, digs in.
Whoa.
Good eye, outside corner, just
A
missed.
little outside. Oh, man. Look at this pitch right here. Sets up right here. Look at beside his glove. Right there. Little bit of movement away. Little outside. Good call.
Look at him move it, too. Hey, it was
You
right on
see
the corner.
a lot of guys get rung up in that pitch.
Chopper, that's foul. We'll do it again. Remember, Martin can fly. If it's even close to the gap, depending on how the outfielders play it, and it's a very good outfield, certainly with Gold Glover Williams in center and O'Neill with a big arm in right. But depending on how they play it, Martin may get sent around.
Well, I doubt if he's going to be able to. O'Neill almost on the warning track. And the other 2 outfielders very deep. It's going to be hard to get a ball in the gap out there without one of the outfielders being right on it.
High, 2-2.
What's going to be real interesting right here is the pitch that Mariano wants to make. You don't want to go to 3-2 and start that runner, because then, oh, you know what, a break loose, because he will score on any ball that's in the gap.
Whoa. No, I guess it wasn't a whoa. Erstad twirled in the box. You remember, he's been injured this year. It was a hamstring problem.
Yeah, and those type things right there are what causes hamstring problems. When you have to jerk your leg, the ball's hit hard there. See that jerk right there? I don't know which leg it was, but those are things that cause you to pull muscles, is that quick jerk on something.
Especially when you foul one right off your shin. That doesn't, that causes a real quick jerk.
And it was his left hamstring. But
2-2 pitch again. Good job by Erstad. That was a borderline strike 3 or not. He just fought it off to stay alive.
Well, that's what you're talking about, and that's a Terry Collins type player. You see a man just go up there battling. Mariano's stepped it up. That ball's 4 inches, 5 inches outside. Mariano's throwing 95 miles an hour now. Stepped it up a little bit after a couple of 89, 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. But that's what type of battler. Jim Edmonds, you see there, 2 home runs tonight. And Erstad are.
Staying alive is Erstad at the plate.
Battling, Boomer. That's just battling. And I think that if you go back to our open, the reason the Angels are where they are is because they have 4 or 5 players just going to battle you tooth and nail all night long, all season long.
9th pitch on the way to Erstad. Salmon wants to crack at it himself. Martin, the runner at first. Chopper, foul ball. Tino turned around to Terry Kraft at first, but it looked foul from this angle, and I don't see anybody really arguing with that. So again, a foul ball by Erstad keeps it alive.
Well, remember, it's not where the fielder is, it's where the ball is. And
foul.
no question it was foul.
Pitch 10. Martin can run at first base. Ball 3. Full count. So not only can Martin run, he will run.
He will, and
now this changes the plot. It may just be a deep single that they may send him on. We'll see. We'll worry about that when Erstad puts it into play, if he does. Here he goes, and that's hit down the line and right. Oh, this could be beautiful. O'Neill with a big arm. Martinez being waved home. The throw. Martinez floating the plate. Save. Angels have tied it. Oh, you could see this play develop all the way. Once it went to 3-2, it changed the entire complexion, and Erstad put it exactly where you had to.
well, there's no way to hit the ball anywhere between the gap, the ball down the line. Larry Boa all the way down the line here. I want you to watch the third base coach into his job. Great at bat by Erstad. 11 pitches, drilling the ball. Great job by O'Neill, hitting the cutoff man perfectly. Perfect throw home right there, safe. Great job all the way around. Nothing you can do. But watch Larry Boa get down the line. Martin flying. Larry Boa right there with him, safe. He knew it.
Larry made the call, then Colbert made the call. I don't care who you're rooting for. That is exciting baseball. What an at-bat by Darren Erstad. 11 pitches.
Larry
Boa. Then he gets the call. Look at it with the kick and everything. That was a kick equal to Pinellas.
Hey, man, you're talking about a competitor.
So and there goes Erstad, who can run, and he's stolen second base. These Anaheim Angels have come in here to Yankee Stadium, and we don't know if they're going to win yet tonight, but they've come from behind in all 4 games.
Well, and another thing, too, Rivera, 2 innings tonight, or pushing 2 innings. He's going to be spent for a couple of days. Joe Torre making that decision, and now you have a tie ball game and a spent bullpen.
Count is 0-2 to Salmon. And the Angels have trailed. After 8, they've won just once. When the Yankees have led after 8, they've lost just once.
You can throw all those things out the window when it gets this time of year, too, Chris. You're going to see so many things turn around because of the sheer competition and what's at stake.
43 pitches for Rivera in these 2 innings.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
There's a number you
There's
need.
a number you.
Down the line. Foul.
This is the first time I've seen the Angels in person this year, and I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with the way that they're going about their business. Rod Carew, the hitting coach, Larry Boa there, the infield coach, just a great coaching staff there for Terry Collins, laughing. And this doesn't look like a young team that's in the midst of a pennant race, supposedly suffering the slings and arrows of stress and outrageous fortune.
I just want to let that breathe. It was like opening a bottle of fine wine. Count is 1-2 to Salmon. And he lays off. Boy, the eye and then knowing when to. But how about Erstad a couple of times? No way he was going to try and get a hit. He was just fouling it off. And then worked it to 3-2. Were that not 3-2, that run doesn't even happen. Not yet. Chopper to Jeter. Over to Martinez. But the Anaheim Angels have battled back with 2 in the 8th 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. We are tied at 6. 9th inning. Chris Berman along with Ray Knight. And I know the Yankees have the best record in baseball. May end up with the best record ever in baseball. But these Anaheim Angels have come in here and made a major statement. That was one of the best at-bats of the year by Erstad.
It really have. I got excited about that. And what these Anaheim Angels have done is shown this Yankee ball club that they are not intimidated by them. Coming into their home ballpark, playing them great baseball, coming back 4 times from deficit to win 3 and now tie this ball game up.
You learned a lot about Darren Erstad right there. And Rivera, usually he's automatic. But he came in, remember, and Todd Green slugged a double right away. That was the first batter he faced in the 8th inning. Which then moved runners around. So, two of the Angels measured Rivera a little bit, even though he kind of breezed. Once he got Edmonds, the fans thought it was over. But as you look at Rivera, hoping that the Yankees now can come through and win it for him in the bottom of the 9th inning. David Wells will not go 17-2. We know that much. He'll remain at 16-2. And watch tomorrow as he hopes David Cone can win his 19th game against Chuck Finley, who won 10. His 10th his last time out. Posada, Brocious, and Homer Bush. So Mike Fetters, a fretting Fetters, as he said, now is working inning number 3.
And that's a lot for him. Middle relievers can give you 2, one time maybe around the order, 3 innings.
Going out to L.A. next. Gary Thorne, Joe Morgan, the Dodgers hosting the Les Expos. And here's Mike Fetters, who immediately walks the first man he faces in Jorge Posada. What a great story this is. Trevor Wilson. That's right. The hum-baby Roger Craig left-hander with the Giants way back when, the late 80s, early 90s. He battled back from serious arm injuries. A couple of them battled his way through the minors. He's back in the major leagues. He's the lefty in the pen as Terry Collins goes out to talk to Fetters.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make a move with a right-handed hitter up here. He's going to check with Fetters, kind of get everything in order here, talk about the hit and run, possibility of bunt, who's covering what. But that Trevor Wilson story is amazing. He came to me in spring training in '96, my first year managing. We needed left-handed pitching badly, and he went out there about 4 or 5 times. I actually was going to try to make him my 5th starter, but his arm was shot. And he came to me one day and said, Skip, I'm just not, as we see Hasegawa out there in the bullpen. Mike Fetters out.
Well, you would imagine that it's Hasegawa coming in against the righty, and it is. Hasegawa, who has been the most important setup guy to Percival this year for the Angels, comes in a 6 back at Yankee Stadium. Angels 6, Yankees 6, with the Yankees with their leadoff man on board, Jorge Posada. Scott Broach is coming up as Terry Collins made the move. And as we've hammered to you all night, the Angels continue to have the Yankees number, coming from behind, scoring 5 runs in the last 3 innings. Boy, the 7th inning for them. They had a 5-run 7th on Monday, a 4-run 7th, a 2-run 7th here against Joe Torre's Yankees. And while you were away, you missed one of the great moments in Yankee Stadium history when Bob Shepard, perhaps the best voice ever, PA system, announced the Angel reliever Shigetoshi Hasegawa, number 21, Hasegawa.
He has good stuff. You see right there, 71 hits and 82 innings pitched, 61 strikeouts, really good sinker, fastball, a lot of sliders, real true slider, flat, breaks sharply, changeup. Fills his position extremely well, and that's one of the reasons I think Terry Collins made this move. Fetters, as we've seen, not very adroit at filling his position.
Scott Brocious will be squaring to bunt. Glauson on the grass at third, and Hasegawa looks Posada back to first. Terry Collins told me before the game he by far and away has been the best setup man to the All-Star Troy Percival. 2 for 2 and a walk. Scotty has scored 2 runs tonight. Erstad pounces on it over to Martin. So Brocious, but he continues to impress from the number 9 hole as this Arcini does for the Angels. Bunts the winning run to second base. 1 out.
Great job, too. Gets the bat barrel out, has the ball head above the ball, then just reaches out and catches it. Posada gets to second base easily. Joe Torre not making the decision, choosing not to make a decision to pinch run there with Girardi on the bench, but that's because he's already used Curtis and Strawberry and Raines and Davis. You start to run out of people when you make those defensive changes.
What? It's set up perfectly for the man that hit his first major league home run, a late addition to the lineup. A late scratch was Knobloch. Homer Bush led off. He's hit a 3-run homer. Now he can win the game with a base hit here in the 9th.
Yeah, I tell you, he's going to have a tough time getting a base hit through the gaps. That means between third and short, up the middle, between second and first, because the outfield is so shallow. Larry Boehm signal move the outfield in, and they will have a play at the plate on any ball that's hit sharply.
Little chopper, Glaus. It's a tough play, and he throws it across to Erstad, but the winning run is just 90 feet away. Glaus was pretty smooth on that play, right?
That's a tough play. Going toward the line, you have to circle the ball a little bit, field it in one hand, make a couple of steps, and make the throw perfectly. With the game on the line, that's a great play by a young player that there's been a lot of great things said about defensively.
Now let's set this up. Derek Jeter was at the plate with bases loaded last night, a 1-run game. Percival got him. Jeter was at the plate this afternoon against Percival in a 2-run game in the bottom of the 9th. Percival got him. This time Jeter faces Hasegawa. He has a chance to deliver a win for the Yankees. Ball low.
Glaus learning quickly at third base. He's trying to show bunt and then moving back as the ball is delivered.
Inside and low, 2-0. Although you get no advantage by pitching around Jeter and getting to O'Neill and then to Bernie Williams, it doesn't really matter. I mean, as far as a walk is concerned.
He's got 3 hitters to get here, Chris. That's a great point. You go ahead and try to make a pitch on a hitter. If you don't get him, you let him go to first. It doesn't make any difference about that hitter. And when you get ahead of a guy, you try to pitch him. This doesn't matter. The runner on third base, certainly, like you say, O'Neill and Williams are tough customers. But as a pitcher, you've got 2 bases open. If you make your pitch, then you go ahead and try to make another pitch. If you don't worry about it.
Setting up outside was Walbeck. He got a strike on the outside corner. Good pitch. But again, you're right. I mean, if he misses it, he actually set up almost outside of the black. I watched where he set.
Well, what you're going to see here, Joe Torre's not going to give him the swing, the hit sign 3-0 with all this thunder behind him. So this is going to be the pitch that he's going to be the payoff and probably going to throw it away.
Again, set up outside. Again, he got the corner.
Yeah,
Those
he did.
are 2 pitches right to that spot, right?
Well, and Jeter showing the patience of the Yankee hitters. He starts this ball out off the plate, runs back. That's back door. Pretty good pitch. That ball got a lot of plate, but Jeter looking middle in. He likes that ball middle in to drive it. Ball just out of his sight zone, and lets it go.
Drives it past the diving Erstad. Posada scores. The Yankees win. Jeter up. up in the bottom of the ninth. The last 3 games against the Angels, sooner or later he was going to come through. He's too good. Erstad almost had it, but the valiant Angels, who battled back to tie it at 6, fall for the first time in this 5-game series with the wrap-up game tomorrow night. The Angels and the Yankees end up splitting the day-night doubleheader. Yankees win 7-6 this evening. For Ray Knight and all of us in the early crew of Wednesday Night Baseball, thanks for watching this game between division leaders. The Expos and Dodgers are coming up in a moment for the presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader of sports. I'm Chris Berman. So long from New York. Now on to Gary Thorne and Joe Morton.
Chris and Ray, thank you very much. And while